On your marks, get set, let's retro games!
I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games Show. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games Show.
It's the Retrogames Show.
Because it looks a bit like a mushroom. Oh yeah!
The Retrogames Show.
Hello, yes, it is me. It is Jace at Retrogames. Hello, how are you? Happy Friday. Here we go. Well, or Saturday, or Sunday, or whatever day you like. Any day you like. Pick a day. Enjoy yourself. Go for it. Yeah. Okay. What's the date today? Well, it's Friday the 9th, isn't it? 9th. Oh, I can't check because I'm on my timer. This is tricks of the trade. I run the timer so that I get a little buzz when I know that camera's going to stop. And yeah, I'm so good at the editing process. You probably never realise that sometimes the videos are in multiple takes. I'm just clever. If you suddenly get a little shot of me ruffling my paper, that's because one of the cameras stopped and I had to redo that bit. Oh, why? Anyway, how are you? It's been a funny week, hasn't it? Has it been a funny week? No, it hasn't been a funny week. It's been quite a good week. We've had some snow, making us feel like, yeah, winter's still here. Who thought it was? I'm just checking my cameras. Still no jingle for that. I've got to get on with new jingles. And I know what you're thinking. Enough of the chit chat. That's what it's all about, chit chat. Let's get to the proper stuff. Get the sheet out. Okay, got my sheet. Runners and riders time. Are you ready? Yeah, straight into it. No preamble. No me showing you the latest thing I've playing on my own. Just straight into it. Okay, runners and riders. Here you go. Ting! Yes! There's the runner. We're down to 18 on last week's show. I don't mind because it's becoming a bit of an epic slog to edit. I mean, last week the show it's been an hour and a quarter. It's about an hour and a quarter, hour and 20. The last few shows, and my struggling old computer, which I thought was super duper, but it's not so super duper, is really struggling to compile the episodes. I know I do them in 4K, but I might as well upload in 4K if I can, because while most people don't care, some people really want to see me in super high fidelity sharpness. They want to see every grey white whisker, absolutely pristine, super detail on their big widescreen TV. Probably, I wonder what the biggest TV is anyone's watching this on. That's really frightening, isn't it? Just imagine me all like zoomed up like a cinema screen. Oh, terrifying. Keep me on the phone, please. Keep me on the phone. I'm not good zoomed up, okay? Just keep me hazy, keep me blurry. That's how I look my best. I look best if you're squinting, okay? Everybody squint. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody squint. Well done. Anyway, talk about rubbish. No, anyway, my computer's taken ages to compile the episode. It took 3.5 hours to compile the file, to turn all the video into one solid file to upload to YouTube last week. And so it was really late by the time I managed to get up. It was about 10 o'clock. It finally went live. Yeah, it's probably a computer issue, probably, but if you're wondering why this video took so long, it's probably a similar issue. I just haven't encountered it yet. I'm thinking about my future self, as usual. Let's get on with the list. Yes, thank you. 18 of you, thank you. More chance of winning when Marvin comes out, isn't it? Anyway, nice comments. As ever, thank you for everyone who's contributed. And mainly, I like you all contributing because you don't mind me ripping the crap out of you. Because I do think I'm quite harsh sometimes. I feel, oh, actually, I really like all these people. Why are you so mean to them? It's kind of the job description, isn't it? If I just went and said, oh, you're so lovely. Oh, Solar Observation UK, you are the king of men. No, it wouldn't work, would it? Wouldn't work. You need me to be a little bit hostile, a little bit, call yourself a retro gamer. Yeah, a bit like that. Number 1, Solar Observation UK. It's a brilliant bloke. He's Prince amongst men. No, he said, how can I mention Crapton Easy to do. Captain Kremen. Captain Kemen. It kind of works. Captain Kremen last week without mentioning Carla. Yeah, Carla. Let's see if we can find a picture of Carla. Yeah, she's she's a very you know, big-chested lady who was the sidekick of Captain Kremen on the Kenny Everett video show. Basically, just reminiscing about my youth. It didn't really have much relevance to video games. This, but anyway, Captain Kremen got a mention in the show, and you guys have all seized it because obviously you missed him. We've all missed him. Bless him. And Kenny Everett, we all miss Kenny Everett, but he hasn't been around since early 90s, has he? I mean, can you imagine what sort of TV he'd be making now? He would have died anyway, wouldn't he? He would have died anyway by now. Number 2, PJ Venom. I'm not mucking around with the name this time. PJ Venom, 1985. Now, I said last week, 1985, that must have been the year you were born. That means you're quite a lot younger. He says, oh, well, the 40s are fast approaching. Oh, we hate you! We hate you! We hate you! We wish we were in our 30s still. I love my 30s. 30s are a great decade, weren't they? Well, they're probably not when you're in them, but as soon as you get away from them, you're thinking, oh, I wish I was in my 30s still. I really do wish I was in my 30s. And his first, this makes you want to, you know when you get like, when you cough up a bit of sick and you have to swallow it back down quick. Bear with me, guys. The first video game he ever played was Super Mario Brothers on the NES. That's the first game. The first game he ever played was a really, well, it's a brilliant game, but oh, you missed out on all the cassettes. All the cassettes. Oh no, all the cassettes, all the discs. No, straight on with Mario on the NES, and you probably played that. I'm thinking, I mean, it came out in 1985 in Japan, but I think in the UK probably 87, 88, 89 by the time people got to play it in the UK. So, kind of sad. Number 3, our old mate James.
Konnichiwa, everybody.
Konnichiwa to you, James. He's given us some great stuff this week. He really enjoyed me talking about old game boxes last week. We went through a bit of a parade of my favourite boxes from 1982 to 1985, before screenshots, when all you had to go on was the look of the box. Was that good? Yes, it was good. He said, has that era been bettered? Has it ever been bettered? Were the boxes then? Well, this is the thing. I actually think probably box art, you know, there's amazing box art now on loads of, especially indie games. I mean, if they come out as full product, they put the effort in. Special editions, all this stuff. There is some amazing artwork on games still, but we don't give it the attention we gave back in 1982 to 1985 because we had no screenshot. We were paying it. Look at that. Look at the graphics on him. Look, and it's, you know, it's just some big guy, you know, standing to attention. I don't know, not in a rude way. And I keep doing this. Got strap-ons last week. Stop it, Jay. Stop it. No, I just think we paid more attention to the screenshots because we had to use them as the basis for buying the game, and so they embedded themselves more. They sunk in more. They seem better, and they do feel better. I mean, there's definitely a lot more, let's say, lackluster art on 8-bit tape games and disc games. Art that would never get on a game now, like really shoddy art, and that's kind of endearing and sweet, and I love that. So.
Chock-a-bloke, checking in.
And that means more to me, that shoddy art. I kind of like that too. I like everything. That's the problem with me. I like this, I like that, I like everything. Oh no. Carry on. His first game. Now, his first game that he played. I'm glad we finally covered this, James. You're such a regular. We've never talked about your favourite game. Well, not your favourite, your first game. And his first game was on the Spectrum, but it was on the starter tape, on Horizons. Yeah, the Horizon starter tape. It had a game on there. It was called Through the Wall. Breakout game. Check out Through the Wall. It's hard to get excited about, isn't it? It's hard to get excited about. It was okay, it was a freebie on the tape. It was the only game content on that Horizon starter tape. And if you had an original plus, not an original rubber keyed, that is the tape that came with it. Plus had a different tape. I don't know if Through the Wall's on the plus tape. I'd have to look that up. You guys all know. You know everything. You know more than me. He also said about Spectrum game boxes, often, and this is like sort of post 85, like 85, 87, 89, whatever, they wouldn't show Spectrum screenshots. And that is a really good point. They'd show the 64 version because it looked so much better. Later on, I can remember, what's that game? A Barbarian. I think the Barbarian version, the Psygnosis Barbarian, they showed the Amiga screenshots on the Spectrum game, or Lemmings, all those Psygnosis games. They showed the 16-bit versions on the back of the Spectrum box. I mean, that's false advertising. I don't think you'd get away with it now, would you? You have to have a little disclaimer at the bottom. I guess they did. They did used to say screenshots from Commodore 64 version, screenshots from Amiga version, but it did feel like a con, didn't it? This is how the game's meant to look. You'll have a mediocre approximation of this. Yeah, not good enough, really. Not good, because there's monochrome. Most of the, especially the later games, they're generally black graphics on cyan or yellow backgrounds, aren't they? So they've got the detailing, because the colours, you couldn't do anything. Low res colour, we all know, colour clash. Yes, colour clash. And you don't want that on the back of a box. Who wants colour clash on the back of a Spectrum box? That's not going to sell the title, is it? He's a big fan. Thank you, James. He wants to pitch. Let's pitch a primetime quiz show with me as the presenter, Marvin doing the scores. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? It would be awesome. We'd have to get Marvin to talk. You know, I'm thinking like Pointless. You know, you got him on the stool. You know, he does talk. He interacts, doesn't he? We've got to let him talk. So Marvin would have to find his voice, but we could find a really cool computer voice, couldn't we? It would be good. Generation Pixel, I picked him up massive last week. I don't need to do that now. I've done it. Oh, you've been bigged up. That's all the bigging up you're going to get. His first game it's a legendary one. Hungry Horace. Check it out. Okay, Hungry Horace. It's Sinclair's answer to Pac-Man. Horace. I've said it a million times. What the hell is Horace? Horace is the most creepy-looking, freaky thing. There was a brilliant picture, wasn't there? Someone redid. I'll try and find it and hopefully put this picture there. Someone imagined what Horace looked like. He's like some scary. There should be a movie about Horace, shouldn't there? 3D Monster Maze should have had Horace in it. That guy is terrifying. Just his big holes for eyes. You know, oh, creepy. Anyway, his first game was Hungry Horace. He loved it. And his mum used to hog it. Isn't that awesome? Mums getting in on their kids' 8-bit gaming habit. Taking over the Spectrum. Playing. Yeah, brilliant. I like that. Good on you. Good on you. My mum would not have gone near my Spectrum. She did not give 8 monkeys. She was just irritated that I spent all my time on it. Now, his favourite one-button fighting game, we covered it last week, kind of, is What If. I'm surprised I didn't say that last week. What If? Way of the Exploding Fist. Everyone used to call it What If. What If? What If? Yeah. Anyway, Way of the Exploding Fist. Yeah, the original game it was more impactful. It was such an early fighting game on 8-bit UK systems that by the time we got to Fist 2, there's been loads of other fighting games, and you know, like we said last week, International Karate Plus, far better. Far better. Number 5, Justin Wormleyton. Didn't he win last week? He won! Yes, he won. Good on you. He loved seeing the sealed games. Yeah, we had some lovely sealed Ultimate games last week. They got snapped up really quick. Moving on, number 6, Jason Vogue. Loving the show. He's a new guy. It's a new guy. We like the new ones. And he likes the show because we cover not only consoles, but also handhelds and computer stuff. And I think that's it. I'm catering for people like me. We like all video games. It doesn't matter the format. We like the history and playing on computers, consoles, handhelds. It doesn't matter. If it's games, we love it. And we want to talk about it, yes. So, that's it. Retro gamers, I think most retro gamers like most games, don't they? And we all have our novelty hate you formats, Amstrad last week. But really, we love all old games. So yeah, I'm with you. Good. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for joining us. 7, Sixth Doctor is back. First games he got were, I think it's a he, maybe not. First games they got were the Sinclair freebies. Horace Goes Skiing. Horace again. He's weird, isn't he? Isn't he weird? Horace is weird. Checkered Flag. Now, Checkered Flag is a game that I also played a lot. My friend Roger, he used to play it all the time. He got his lap time. He's right down the lap times, getting it super perfect. No other cars. It's just you against the track. I mean, kind of a purist racing game. There's plenty of just you versus the track games since then, like Gran Turismo, the early game, But yeah, that's ahead of its time, or they couldn't be bothered to make other car graphics. Yeah, Checkered Flag classic. And also The Hobbit, not a free game, The Hobbit. Loads of people started their adventure in life with The Hobbit. Fantastic, It was a great game. Do you know what a parser is? The parser where you type in, and it doesn't understand much, does it? The Hobbit parser. Let's be honest. It could have made you frustrated. Adventure games could be frustrated in the 8-bit era. It's great. Put Tolkien on the map. We all know The Hobbit. If you're a Spectrum gamer, Commodore gamer, it came up for most things. MSX gamer. We all played The Hobbit, and we all knew about it. So brilliant, but tricky to play. I never finished it. They made a guide, didn't there? There is a guide book, Guide to the Hobbit. Here it is. It's a bit like ahead of its time, because they make guides for every single game that comes out now. But that Hobbit guide, there was nothing like that. A proper book, a Melbourne House book based on finishing a game and the secrets of the game. And to be honest, you needed it. You needed it a bit. Moving on. Oh no, no. Sixth Doctor's got another bit. Game disappointments. Game disappointments, and one of my favourite subjects. Goes back. He's 17 years old. He loved the cartoon Centurions. Let's check out the cartoon Centurions.
Only one force can stop this evil. A handful of brave men. In specially created exobrains, they can be transported anywhere to fuse with incredible assault weapon systems beamed down from the space station Skyvault, becoming man and machine power extreme.
Well, he loved that cartoon. So, we all loved cartoons as kids, even though he was 17. He loved it. He went and got the game Centurions. Bing. This is how the game looks compared to the cartoon. All he can say is he was heartbroken. It is horrible when they take one of your beloved franchises, something you absolutely adore, and then massacre it with an awful piece of crap game, isn't it? It happened to a lot of us with The Young Ones. I loved The Young Ones by Orpheus. Oh my God, they're making a game of The Young Ones? A game of it? We all rushed out, we got the game. It's one of the worst games ever made. Awful, awful, very sad. Still makes my throat clench up. No, not The Young One. There's loads of them. So that's a new topic. Licensed games that was you loved the license, you loved the film, the series it was based on, but you got the game, and it was so bad it made you hate the series and the film it was based on. It did happen. It's Russ. Russ is back. He commented last week. I mentioned there'd been COVID in the office. He says, "Do I need to anti-back the games I receive? Antibacteria, that is. I think, yeah. No, you don't. Nobody with COVID handled any parcels. I promise. And everyone's back now. COVID is over. We're all back. We're back with loads of stuff on this week. Busy listing week, all back to normal. Disappointing games. Now, he says Idris Alpha on the Commodore 64 by Jeff Minter, the legend that is Jeff Minter. Let's check it. Now, his comment about that game is, I just didn't get it. Now, this is a thorny subject because I big up Jeff Minter a lot, often talking about him. He's a bit of a legend. He's as closest we've got as a resident artist, I think, in making games. He thinks outside the box. Just didn't get it though. I can attach that to many of Jeff's games. Space Giraffe, what's that other one? Polybius. They say you have to play them for a certain amount of time and then they get under your skin and you understand, but some of them they just don't. To me, I love the 8-bit stuff. He did some brilliant, very simple stuff, shooters and stuff, the camel stuff and all that, shoot in space. But I absolutely get you, Russ. I get you. I'm going to be on your side. Sometimes, Jeff, your stuff's a bit. We don't quite get it. We think you may be making it just for yourself. Maybe you're making it for your own amusement, and that is probably the best way to go if you're making games. It's not, and you've never had. Let's be honest, Jeff. You've never had a massive mega hit. That's probably why, because you're making the games for yourself, and you've got very, very specific tastes. And if I read a brilliant interview on Eurogamer recently with Jeff. He's going on about Eugene Jarvis, Defender, Robotron creator, being his biggest influence. But Defender and Robotron, they're pick up and play instant. Still so much magic in those games. I don't want to say Jeff's never managed to get that, but he's never managed to get that kind of magic in these games, has he? I can't really compare Robotron, the Mega Robotron 2084, to any of Jeff's output. I know. I'm sacrilege. Call yourself a retro gamer, you big turd. Just because the shirt's brown. Let me get on with it. Tapio. Now, Tapio, I picked on him last week. Well, I didn't really pick on him. I said I wanted to know the term to say a game is pants, but in Finnish. Okay. He's done that. He's put it there for me. He says I should check a website for pronunciation, so I can pronounce it right. Where is the fun in that? Absolutely not. I'm going to give it a go. You right? You ready? This game is pants in Finnish. Tarpeli on kamanenen. Kamanenen. Yeah. Tarpeli on kamanenen. Kamanen. No, it's kamanen. I'm putting an extra N in there. Again, sorry. Tarpeli on kamanen. Tarpeli on kamanen. Tarpeli on kamanen. Everybody knows. What? Ugh! Tarpeli on kamanen. It will catch on. Thank you ever so much, Tapio. He also said he's loving his PSVR 2 because he got it just after my video went out. He watched it just before the day before he got his, and he enjoyed my hype. Bit of hype on that. Number 10, Jabobbly Rob. I'm gonna if I was young enough to have more kids, I would call the next one Jabobbly Rob. It's probably gone. I know it's just your handle. It's not your real name. Your name's Julian. But Jabobbly Rob, it's just got a lovely flow. It's one of my favourite all-time words. I shout it out at night in bed. Jabobbly Rob. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. Bit carried away there, Jace. International Karate Plus on the C64. Yes. Classic. We showed it last week. It is a little bit. He says, I remember if you hit a couple of keys on the keyboard, the fighter's trousers would fall down. Now the fighter's trousers falling down, it's epic. Here we go. Now it's epic, yeah. Okay. But you just don't touch anything, do you? You just have to walk away. Don't touch any keys. If you just leave it sitting there for long enough, then the trousers fall down. But anyway, that's not the only point he's bringing up, which was a valid point. Valid point, very good. He remembers a playground rumour that there was a secret code to remove Maria Whittaker, the princess character's top in Barbarian. A code you could press on your Spectrum to remove Maria Whittaker's top. Now, if we haven't been... huge thanks for giving me the way of sandwiching her back into the show. Just to remind ourselves, this is what Maria Whittaker looks like now. Oh. Go, Maria! Maria, no. Yeah, she's got a bit older. Anyway, I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true. I think it is made up. But he said, has anyone got any other memories of playground video game rumours? And this reminds me of course, the Lunar Jetman trailer. There's the classic ones. Lunar Jetman had a trailer because it was in the picture of the artwork. But there's no trailer in the game. It was hoaxed. There was a hoax picture put in Crash Magazine of someone who'd got to this level and they'd found the trailer. But it later turned out, like years later, that it was a hoax. Also, that the bikes fire back on 3D Death Chase by Micromega. They never shot back. But people said if you get to this level, isn't it on Mindstorm on the Vectrex? Isn't there like if you get to like level 82 or something? There's a secret message from the coder, something like that. There's loads of these, and I would love, if you've got any of these, if you can think of these rumours, please message, because I would love to talk about these. It's very, very fascinating area of retro gaming. There's another one. Zub, do you remember Zub? This is a real one, this one works. It's a budget game by Mastertronic. Zub, and if you held down certain keys, there was a hidden game in there. A completely hidden game as a shoot 'em up. Amazing. Hidden games, Easter egg, the ultimate Easter egg. A game that's actually better than the game you bought. Brilliant. Yeah, so more of that. Thanks ever so much. Jabobbly Rob. Moving on, 11. Someone new! It's a new sub recommended by James. Thank you, James. Konnichiwa to you. This is Not More Games with Nick Berry. I don't think it's that Nick Berry. I think it's another Nick Berry. He suddenly said, he hasn't suddenly said anything. What am I on about? He suddenly said, no. He's building a full set of PSVR 1, the physical games. He's into PSVR, the first one. He hasn't got PSVR 2. He's waiting for the price to come down a bit. But he's got 200 PSVR first party titles, well not first party, but PSVR physical titles in his collection. That is amazing. He said, oh, if you've got the full set, I'd love to see it. I'm sorry, I've never collected that. I don't really... yeah, PS4. PS4. I can't start collecting PS4. Whether it's VR. I love VR. But no, I do think that is a stunning collection. I'd love to see it when you're done. I'm sure you're going to put a video on your own channel about it. And I'll be checking it out because I think that's very interesting. I can't believe there's 200 physical releases for PSVR 1. That is amazing. It's amazing. I guess you're going to have to carry on with PSVR 2 and get that set as well. Wait for PSVR 3. Yeah, fascinating anyway. But I'm quite hurt. I'm feeling awful about Nick because Nick, I don't know if he's new to the site, but he also placed an order this week. And I could not find it. I couldn't find it. The team couldn't find it. We all searched everywhere. It was a freebie DVD based on the game Star Ocean. It came with a game. And it's in one of them really thin little DVD, no spine wallet packets. And I can visualise it anywhere. I can see it in the reflection on the camera. I tell you what, it's taken over my mind, but I'm really sorry, Nick, and if I find it, I'm going to send it to you for free, because that's the kind of stuff we do. If we can't find stuff, that's on us, and we like to sort it out properly. So I'm hoping I will be able to find that for you, Nick, and I will send it off. And you're gonna, I'm sure it's here. I'm sure it's here, filed somewhere insane. Okay, carried on. 12, Gareth Williams, our friend from Wales. If you didn't know. He really enjoyed the sealed Ultimate games that we put on the show last week. You bought most of them since then. Thanks a lot, Gareth. You helping keeping the lights on, keeping the lights on. Attic Attack. He got it with his birthday money. He bought it at the time with his birthday money from his local Boots. Yes, Boots sold games. We've talked about that because Boots had several releases that were only available in Boots. And Attic Attack. What a classic game. The thing about Attic Attack is one of them games, I played it to death. I mean, I got my Spectrum with two games, as I said last week, Manic Miner and Attic Attack. And Attic Attack was stunning for the time. It was a stunning game. But you would always find two pieces of the key, and you'd always struggle, and you think you never ever found the third piece. And then you go back to the game, and they just moved them around, and you'd find the piece that you didn't find last time, and one of the other pieces, but you'd never found the third piece. It's one of those games I do hope one day I'm going to go back to it and actually get the key of ACG, which was the key that you found. And someone actually win one and crashed. Didn't they actually make a gold key of ACG? Someone mapped the game and they won that. Like, it was dished out by Ultimate. Now that is a rarity. I would love to know who has the real gold key of ACG. Wow, that would be an amazing thing. Thanks, Gareth. 13, Richard Cooper. He wants us to get on with turning this into a club. He's fed up with it being just being a show. He wants us all to be members of a club. Fair enough. I'm working on it. I really am. Oh, beavering away. He said Summer Santa, which we showed last week, absolute poo. It was made for an Australian Christmas, of course, because it is summer. Christmas in Australia. Thanks, Rich. You're right. You're right. We didn't. Nobody thinks about all you guys over there, your baking hot Christmases. You know, it must be weird because everything has got snow on it. Everything is like cold, cold, cold. All the TV, all the Christmas films, all the Christmas shows. 14, Retro Ed is back. Yes, we love Retro Ed. He commented on a couple of games. Road Warriors that we showed last week. This is it. Anyway, very odd decision to make a racing game side-scrolling like that. It is, isn't it? Much better to be like Spy, as he said, Spy Hunter. Up the screen. Up the screen feels far more natural. I've just got the Great Drift Out or the Neo Geo games that go all over the show, which they're probably the best. But it's just sideways, just going sideways. Up. It feels like like a platform game. It doesn't feel like a racing game. He also said the show jumping that I showed last week for the Spectrum, I'll just show that again. Check out the sponsorship, because there's sponsorship on the stands. And it's amazing. There's what we've got: Castlemaine 4X, we've got National Express coaches, Renault, Fiat, Kodak. Now you can't tell me that these companies paid into the coffers of Alligator Software for show jumping. I just think they made it look like all the fish. I mean, you didn't get that much sponsorship on 8-bit stuff. Not like now where they sell off the boards in all the racing games. They sell off all the sponsorship logos on the cars and everything, you know, get extra cash to make the game development. But back then, I mean, it would be amazing to think that Castlemaine 4X gave money to Alligator to stick that little, with just text on the stands. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Good point. Good point. Well made, Ed. 15, Nath's back. He wants to win a t-shirt. Well, you might not have noticed. We haven't been giving away t-shirts. We're giving away retro games because we've run out of t-shirts. That's how rare they are. They ran out. I gave enough away. I gave them away too much. And now there's none left. Sad. Sad. Makes me sad. Anyway, he says VR is nauseating. Who wants to move around when they're playing video games? It makes me think you haven't tried VR for a long time. If you have tried it, you must have tried it a long time ago. Try PSVR 2. Try PSVR 2. I don't think you're going to be able to. I played this week PSVR 2. I played first slowly, churning my way through. I don't play for much. I don't get much time to play. Resident Evil 7 Village on PSVR 2. Now, I had a moment. I had a big moment, and I finally got to the castle. I'd gone through the village. I am very slow going through VR games because the detail is so incredible. I just want to look at all the pictures on the wall, all the photos, all the way they've grouted around the tiles, the skirting boards and how they've gone flaky. I spent about 10 minutes studying a coat stand. It was a coat stand, but even the varnish was worn off. The modelling that has gone into making that game. Play that on a flat screen and you would not notice. You just whiz past this stuff. But the detail, even to the grain on the wooden coat hanging thing, it's like, what? It's incredible. It is really amazing. So I'm very slow going through VR. Try to rush through the scary bits and then just like, oh, check out this. Look at the way that bag of potatoes has gone all mouldy. And it's like, oh, the graphics, insane. Anyway, finally got to the castle. You've all finished. I know, you probably all finished Resi 7. And I'm standing at the entrance and it's a magnificent entrance, all carved stone. There's a mist around. You can look up. There's the towers, the big towers, and it's a bit like Hogwarts, like a mega castle. And I could see inside the door, and it's like damp, and you see the glisten. You can almost smell the damp stone slabs and all the wet. And I walked in there, and I thought, this is how I never would imagine I could be inside a game. I imagine, I've told you before, I loved Dungeon Master on the Amiga and the Atari ST. Now to that's the feeling I had. It was in my imagination. I imagined that I was in this grand dungeon and everything was so detailed and everything. But everything really was in Resident Evil Village. I could have stood in that doorway just thinking, I finally got here. I've been playing games all my life and I finally got to actually experience better than my imagination could have come up with. I don't know if anybody else had that moment in VR when they got to that. I mean, I haven't got to the ornate parts of the castle yet. I'm sure it's going to be even more amazing. But it's something about being in the entrance and like what is beyond. You know, you're preparing yourself for what's within. But then just look at the detail, that the rock, every pixel in that has been meticulously. It's just gorgeous. I'd love to share anyone else's opinion on Resident Evil Village, just standing in the doorway of the castle. Because you're safe there anyway, nothing comes to get you. You can just stand there, staring up at that castle, staring in at the door. You walk into like a hallway, very safe until you get in there and walk a couple of corners, not so safe. But yeah, fabulous game. So I don't care what you say there, Nath. VR is incredible. Yeah. 16, Beesball, our friend from America. He says his biggest regret is on the GameCube. He saved up with his own money. I reckon he's a bit younger than us. He saved up his own money and he bought Dark Summit. Let's check it out. Dark Summit. Oh, Summit, Varmint, Summit. It sounds something, doesn't it? Summit, short for some dark something. Sounds a bit creepy, doesn't it? Creepy. But no, it's a snowboarding game. And it's pretty... there's quite a lot of stuff like that. Churn out fodder, isn't there, on the GameCube? There's quite a lot of average stuff, but we all have to buy them. We have to have them for our collection so we can complete our sets. Yeah, the tragedy of this is he was looking at the shop. He's holding two games up. He's holding Dark Summit and he's holding Luigi's Mansion, and he chose Dark Summit. He put Luigi's Mansion down. He put that back. So that's a bit sad. That. Finally, he says checkbook with a QU sounds French. Oi, checkbook isn't French. I know why he's thinking, because there's lots of Q, like Quebec, like Canadian, French Canadian stuff. Lots of Q's in that. No, checkbook. It might be French. I don't know what the origins of the word check with a Q is. But anyway, that's the proper way to spell it. Stop mucking about. 17 is the Retro Bear. I don't know why I have to do it in that voice. I don't know, because he doesn't talk anything like that, but for some reason I do. More Amstrad, please. He wants more Amstrad. Good. I've already said, as soon as a nice collection of Amstrad comes in, I shall be talking about it. He said there's reruns. He gave me the channel, I forgot what it was. Reruns at the moment of the Kenny Everett Show. Benny Hill and the Goodies, all that old retro TV that they can't show on mainstream TV anymore because it's a little bit you can't say that anymore. It's all rerunning. So yeah, Kenny Everett. I loved the Kenny Everett Show. I used to do copying, doing all the voices, doing all the sketches, Sid Snot and all that stuff. I loved it. I had no idea that Cupid's stunt was rude. Absolutely zero idea. I was a kid. That did not mean anything to me. No wonder my mum and dad didn't like me watching it. Anyway, the more you don't let them watch it, the more they want to. Just remember that. He signed off Retro Bear by saying, oh, he liked the software that we had, the yacht navigation software for the Spectrum. He says, oh yeah, I've just purchased a yacht. I think he was serious. I don't know if you've checked Retro Bear's channel. He doesn't know the sort of man who owns a yacht. I'm curious. I'm sorry. You're going to have to... Come on. You've got to send us a picture of your yacht. It must probably just a little one, isn't it? Little one. Well, little one. It's still got sails, haven't they? Still pretty big. I'm interested. I'm not saying... You just don't strike me as someone I'd see out cruising the Solent on a yacht. I've watched your shows. I just didn't get that vibe. Interesting. Last one, 18. It is Tetley, ex-winner. And he gave me, I literally cracked up, laughed out loud with his comment. This is Captain Kremen. I showed him last week. I put him on the top camera. This is Captain Kremen, yeah. This was his comment. Tetley said, looks like that Captain Kremen's seen some shit. It does, doesn't he? He's a bit world weary. Yeah. I mean, if something happens, these sort of it kind of goes hard. It's like wire underneath, and then they dip them in foam and then mould them. There was lots of characters in the 70s and 80s. They had a few characters. I had a Bugs Bunny who was like this as well. There was quite. I mean, yeah. He's crack. Oh, that looks a bit painful there, Captain. Sorry about that. I put him back safely. Put him back. Keeping guard there. He's looking after Major Morgan. He's got to look after Captain Kremen and Major Morgan. Big friends now. Big friends. That is the sheet done. You know what time it is. Talked about the competition time. Yeah, competition time. What's the prizes? The prizes this week. I've got two prizes. First one, Tomb Raider Tomb Raider Last Revelation for the Dreamcast. Yeah, a Dreamcast prize. Nice quality disc, got the manual, lovely. And something a bit more retro, Spectral Panic for the Spectrum. This is a really early 1982 Hewson game. Original, never came with a manual, that is how it was sold. But it's nice to have an original 16K 1982 game. Do you remember this game, Load Runner Games? It's where you're on the platforms, you're running around, you dig holes with your spade, the monster falls into it, you have to quickly run back and then you whack them over the head with the spade and they fall through and die. They haven't made many games like the Load Runner style games since, have they? But Spectral Panic, yeah, anyway, that is the prize. While you digest how amazing those prizes are, let me find... Cue the jingle!
My name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. Remember my name. 'Cause my name is Marvin. My name is Marvin.
I'm sure he's putting on weight.
My game.
Okay, yeah, Marvin. Okay, let's put this down to 18, yeah. Gone from 24 to 8, that's 6 down. 6 in 1 week. Let's power it on, let's see what numbers... Oh, we got the E's! Is that a sign? Is Ed destined to win again? Or Tetley with his triple E's? Okay, let's go. 5, 4, go Marvin. 3, 2. Good luck everyone. 1, go Marvin! Yes, that's 17! 17! It's Retro Bear! Retro Bear! You have got something to play with on your yacht this week. You finally won. Brilliant. I'm glad you're a long follower of the show. Inspiration to me. You know, when I first started out, he was the first other channel to give us a shout out. Retro Bear, he's forever entwined with this show. I love the geezer. Anyway, well done to you. Time for this part of the show.
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games this week.
Yeah, what's it? Retro games this week. It's been a big listing week, but I've tried not to pick too much because I seem to be getting a bit carried away. And it's making me editing very hard, so I've cut it down maybe a little bit. I don't know, the box is pretty full actually. What about this? This is the first game today. Straight into it. This is a Soul Calibur joypad, especially based on Soul Calibur 2, which is big on the GameCube. Had Zelda in it, didn't it, on the GameCube. Different characters in different versions. I can't remember who was in the other. I could look it up. But this is an unusual multi-format arcade stick. Let's get it out. Let's open it. It's got a multi adapter there, so you can use it on the Xbox, GameCube, or the PlayStation. And here we go. Look at this. It's a really groovy design. And it's got some help there with all the X and LT. Brilliant for getting all your moves. A lovely condition. I thought that was worth checking out today. That is a Soul Calibur, something big. I like to get the big ones out of the way before I delve deeper into me box. What?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Okay, all right then. Hang on, let me put my joystick away. Never gets tired, does it? I mean, if you had a calculator that said how many times Retrogames used the joystick joke, it's too many times. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, this is a bit tough to close. It's done. We have got that done. Okay, Soul Calibur joystick. Okay, might be boring to you, might be. Let's go with some Nintendo Game Boy. Yeah, we have some Game Boy stuff in this week. Let's start with... Oh, we've covered a lot of him lately. Earthworm Jim. Yes, Earthworm Jim on the beautiful example of this. We've covered it recently. We had it on the Mega Drive. We had Earthworm Jim 1 and 2 on Mega Drive, and Earthworm Jim 1 and 2 on SNES. All in the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, I think. But yeah, this is the Game Boy one. It's beautiful condition. I'll just get it out of the box. If you like to see things getting out of the box, look at that manual. Beautiful, like new. It's basically like new. If you like Earthworm Jim, you want to take him around with you on your Game Boy. There's the cartridge. Got some focus on that. Brilliant. Yeah, Earthworm Jim to kick us off for the Game Boy Advance. Also, you can play that with it on your GameCube with the Game Boy adapter if you wanted to. Another one, similar game, another sort of platform game. Rayman, Hoodlum's Revenge. Another beautiful condition again. Rayman, Hoodlum's Revenge for the Game Boy Advance. I'll get it out, just get it out. Get it out, Jason. That's what they all say. There's the cartridge, and oh, look at that. I mean, absolutely incredible brand new manual and insert. Beautiful. Straight through that. Like a warm knife through a butter, wasn't it? Them two. Straight through it. Okay, let's go. Let's carry on. More Game Boy. Don't worry about that. This is an unusual one. We've never had this in stock before. And this is Top Gun Firestorm Advance. Top Gun on the Game Boy, which I thought, oh, I remember. Maybe on the Game Boy Color there's a Top Gun, but I've never seen this on the Game Boy Advance before. Lovely condition. I think the game looks great. Let's show you it running. Yeah, it's got a kind of cutesy Desert Strike kind of look to it, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, Game Boy Advance games are pretty good, aren't they? They are pretty good. It's underrated because it's still called a Game Boy. People still think, oh, because a lot of the original Game Boy games, they're quite simple and basic. But actually, Game Boy Advance games, they do stand up. If you play them on a GameCube, there's still some entertainment. They look good. They're big games. They're interesting. Things happen. Do you never think you're just rambling for the sake of it? I am rambling for the sake of it. Here's another one for you. Let's go with Perfect Dark. Yeah, Perfect Dark, Game Boy Color this one. Not quite as good as Game Boy Advance games. A bit more basic. Yeah, so Perfect Dark on the Game Boy, and everyone loves this. It has got a rumble feature, so it has a little battery pack, AAA battery goes in there. Oh, focus. And then it rumbles as you play, which at the time, because the Nintendo 64 kind of made rumble a big thing. So then subsequent releases, oh, we want it to rumble. We want to feel that, we want to feel that tactile connection with a rumbling game. And yeah, good. I like it. There is DS games that rumble. They had a separate rumble pack that went in the Game Boy slot. You know this stuff, don't you? But there was rumbling original DS games. That rumbled. We put the rumble in the bottom, and then you put the DS cartridge in at the same time. 2 cartridges, one for rumble, one for gameplay. Nice. One more Game Boy, and it's another one. A Star Wars. There's a bit of a sticker mark there. Bit of a shame. But it's Star Wars Racer, and I thought I've got to show you this game running because it's hilarious. Yeah, not the it's a bit different to the pod race in the movie, I grant you. But again, it's got that rumble feature. Let's just get it out of the box. Squeeze it, Jay, squeeze it. Don't. Yeah, beautiful. Manual there, and here we go. There's the cartridge, and again, got that little compartment opens up there. A little battery, and then it rumbles when you smash into things in the game. Yay! Rumbling on the Game Boy. Very nice. Game Boy games. Ugh. If I could have all my Game Boy games we'd ever sold back, I'll tell you what, we have sold so many Game Boy games. Ridiculously cheap over the past 20 years, say. I mean, box game like this would have been on the site. I think this probably actually was boxed on the site for a £5, you know, about 7 or 8 years ago. That's how much Game Boy games have gone crazy. They really jumped. People suddenly realised, hang on, this is original Nintendo content. It must be as valuable as all the other formats, surely. But for a long time, Game Boy was seen as like, oh yeah, Game Boy. Maybe because the games are a bit simpler. They never really got the collectible value that they have now. I mean, now, you know, there's £200, £300 Game Boy games, which I know. It's like, what? Who's going to pay that? Moving on, we've done Game Boy. We've got SNES. One SNES. It's for my old mate, Jabobbly Rob. It's Bob. It's the game Bob. Very underrated platformer because it's by EA, but it's a very nice example. Look at that. Bob. Let's get it out. Get it out. I need to do that jingle, don't I? Get it out. Beautiful inside. Look, it's still got its plastic. It looks like it's never been played. And oh yes, of course, it's got the poster. I'm not going to unfold it, am I? Am I going to unfold it a bit? Shall I unfold it? Yeah, go on and unfold the poster. Oh, this has never been unfolded. It makes me feel ill. There we go. There we go. There is the Bob poster. Love, amazing, absolutely. The contents on this, wow. Beautiful. Look at that manual. Fabulous. Fabulous example of Bob. I don't imagine it will be here that long. That's the thing about these sort of games. They fly out when we get them. Bob on the SNES. Right, we've done. Is that with Nintendo? No, there's more Nintendo. Let's carry on with Nintendo. What about GameCube? Yeah, GameCube. Defender. Now, Defender, I'd pick this because it's one of those games you think, oh, what a revamp, a remaking of Defender for the GameCube. Yeah, it came with PS1, PS2, yeah, PS2 as well. How to destroy a legend. Check out Defender.
Shoot the white crates to receive power-ups. Colonist rescued.
It's nothing like Defender. It's nothing like Defender. I mean, okay, yeah, you might have to shoot things and rescue things, but pushed into that perspective, that's not what we wanted. That is not what we wanted. If Jeff Minter would not have done that to it, awful. Another one. This is a game that's always fascinated me. It's in a plastic bag. It's for its own safety. Oh, hello. And that is this. Odama. It's not Obama. Barack Obama. It's a really... I love pinball games. I've always loved pinball. And this is such a weird game. It was hyped up. It was about 3 years in development. I can remember because it's by Shigsy. Yeah, the king of Mario's dad. Shigsy Miyamoto designed and built this game. He made Zelda. He made Mario. He made this. So there was a lot of hype. Oh my god, yeah, he made Pikmin. He made so many amazing games. He is the godfather of Japanese games. But then this game came out and people were like, what is that? What is that? Yeah, it's a pinball game. It's a pinball game that you have to talk to use the flippers. Now, you know, sometimes, I mean, this kind of proved, I guess, to Shigsy, it doesn't matter, I can't come up with any idea I like. It's actually got to be an idea that makes sense, because it's pretty bizarre. It's quite unlike any other game, isn't it? I love it. I love unique stuff like that, but it's such a bizarre thing, Odama. And to think of the heritage of that game. What? Yeah. And then after that, he did Pikmin. So, and then we're like, oh, okay, he's back in the room. Okay, let's go. What we'll talk about next? Oh, we've got some. We've got one Sega game today. We've got a Dreamcast game. It's a rare one, man. This is Racing Simulation 2 Online.
Are you ready? Ready for the race? Are you ready? Are you ready? Ready for the race? Are you ready? Oh, are you ready?
Very rare game, very rare. 75 squiddly-dids, that is a lot, that's pounds to you guys. 75 squiddly-dids on this, which is the sequel to Racing Simulation, which is quite a common game on the Dreamcast, and not a particularly good one. But the sequel, well, this is what happens when you sequel a game that nobody wanted. Nobody liked the first one, so why did you sequel it? Well, nobody's going to buy the second one, and then you're left with a super rare game. And absolutely immaculate condition, beautiful. Racing 2 Online! That's Sega done. Now, what about this? Oh, PS1. That's the PlayStation 1 to you. And I've got to be careful with this one because I know you like sealed stuff. It is a sealed Croc 2. The sequel to Croc. Who's it by? Argonaut. It's by Argonaut. I knew it had good heritage. Argonaut, the Jez Sands company who created Starglider. Brilliant. But yeah, it's got that wraparound tear off PlayStation strip, brand new, sealed. Isn't it nice when you see some? We don't get as many sealed games as we'd like, or as we used to. PS1 particularly, and so often you see on a PS1 sealed, it's a very common title, an unsold title. There's certain games that they really sold in tiny numbers, so they're left in a warehouse. But when you find a genuine sealed game that's a popular game, wow, that's exciting. So yeah, and also not cracked and damaged underneath the plastic, because a lot of times with these mint ones you get some chips that it's just been squashed or chipped or something. But that one is perfect, and I've got another sealed game in here to show you, and that is this. It is for the PS5. PS5, no, that's not retro. The PS2 is Metal Slug 5. Metal Slug 5 sealed, and again you can see, look at that, and you can see it's got that tear off little place. Can you see? You see the tear off strip there? Beautiful. Metal Slug 5. Amazing game, and even more amazing to have it sealed. Yes. What's next in the box? It's Commodore. Okay, Commodore. Here's a nice one. Sacred Armour of Antiriad. Now I always used to, this one, you know, there's games. There's another thing we could talk about. Games you always pronounce wrong. I'm like Persiganis. So that wasn't me though, that was a customer. And Antiriad, I always thought it was Antriad. So I've always called this game Sacred Armour of Antriad. Anyway, let's check it out. This is the original release, Commodore 64. And it's a gorgeous arcade platform. shooter. This original clam, it's very rare in the clam. And what's more special is it comes with this mini comic. Yeah, Palace mini comic. Palace was a big company for making videos. They made a lot of videos. I mean, you say it's a comic, you know. It actually is a comic. That's what am I on about? I thought I was going to say, oh, it's mainly instructions, but it's not. It is a comic. So he's got the comic. Is the instructions on the inlay? Oh, the instructions are in the back. Oh, we've got the instructions there. The instructions are on the back of the inlay. That makes sense. I was getting confused. But isn't that lovely to have the comic? I mean, it's got a little bit crease at the edges because it was made to fit into this clam case. But that is the original. You use these plastic double case normally, but to get it originally in the clam, lovely. Anteriad, not Antriad. Carry on. Another rare shooter. This Hades Nebula. Hades Nebula, yeah, very underrated on the Nexus label. And you'll know Nexus, they're related to Beyond, Telecom Soft company. And they had those really awful bobbly boxes, you know, like Rockford's Riot and Nexus and Super Sunday Bowl, Super Sunday Bowling, American football game. Yeah, they had them big weird bobbly boxes. Show the bobbly box. But this is nice to see. They did actually release a game in a proper case. I don't think they programmed this. I don't think it was an original title for them. It says it was by Paranoid Software. I'm not sure. Anyway, it is a very underrated shoot 'em up, and I love shoot 'em ups. What can I say? That's the basis of retro gaming for me. Is shoot 'em ups. I like shooting. And here's another epic shoot 'em up, and it needs no intro. Delta. Stavros for Savalos, that's how I say it. Absolute legendary game on Commodore 64. Got that music from The Apprentice, isn't it? It's got the music from The Apprentice. Just move the camera there. Let's open it up, have a look. It's gorgeous, it's gorgeous. A big fold out. And you know who did all this artwork? Ollie Frey did the artwork because it's a Thalamus game. You can tell, can't you? You can tell, even that explosion there, you can tell that is Ollie Frey explosion. Brilliant Delta, not rare really, but highly sought after, renowned as one of the best games on the C64, but not as much as this one is. Yeah, Last Ninjas is back in stock this week. I thought, well, I've got to put it on the show. It's the Last Ninja, even though there's 2 sequels. And isometric, roaming around, throwing shurikens at people. Famously limited edition with a shuriken, which I wish I could show you that as plastic shuriken, throwing star in the box. Epic, epic. Yeah, that's the 2 tapes. And there's the manual. Beautiful. The Last Ninja. It wasn't the last one. But if you don't know what this is, you're really not a Commodore 64 gamer. What's next in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
It is this. It is Super Sprint. Yeah, and I've talked about Super Sprint. I'm sure we talked about Super Sprint on the Atari ST only about 2 episodes ago. But I thought, well, I'd like to see what the Commodore 64 version looks like. Commodore 64 version, not quite as good as the Atari ST version, is it? But you know, what can you do? It's still a classic game. It failed to get the traction it deserved. Mega in the arcades because the old spinning steering wheels. and it never really recaptured that magic on home computer formats. But I am a big fan of top-down racing games, special single screen, BMX simulator kind of, you know, supercars. That's not single screen, but I loved all that on a single screen going around, especially multiplayer. Brilliant, whacking people. Oh, yeah, loved it. Super Sprint, one of my pet favourite games. Had to come on. Now, what last Commodore 64 game in the box? And it's an epic one. Just an excuse to play the music. Yeah, yeah, Mega Apocalypse. Yeah, Mega Apocalypse, the legend that is it by Simon Nicol again? Yeah, Simon Nicol. Legendary Rob Hubbard soundtrack, separate manual is there, often missing. Lovely example. This is the proper, we don't replace the case if we don't need to. This is the proper case it was released in. They're horrible, they just discolour over years, but it's original and you've got to keep stuff original if you can. Just buy the game, put it on your Commodore 64, don't play it, just listen to it. It rocks! It was my number one Commodore 64 soundtrack. So that's why it came on the show. Now, the last format we're going to look at today is Spectrum! Yeah, never get bored of that. Or do we? Maybe a couple here. What about this? This is a really early game. I was talking earlier about sleeves, and like even when the art's a bit ropes, even when it's a bit why? I like that better. Well, look at this, Dodo by Blaby. I know, I've been told. Blaby Dodo for the Spectrum. Look at that. I mean, Blaby really did have awful artists. I mean, I know, I love it. I mean, I showed before the Barmy Burgers Cup. I loved that as a kid. That picture, a hot dog chasing a burger, it meant so much to me. I don't know why. Just the thought that, oh, maybe when you're not in the kitchen, the hot dogs are running around the counter. Maybe. Anyway, Dodo by Blaby. Very rare game for Spectrum. Is another rare one. Another really early company. Rabbit Shoot by Phipps. Now Phipps, it's a 16K game, pretty basic. The reason I picked this though isn't just because it's a really early game and it's really rare. It's because it's something tragic. Bit of tragedy. We've got it's got some writing on the internet, number 23 written on the inlay, but also look at this. It's an unusual problem. Get the focus. Yes, someone has punctured the window for the tape on both sides. Just punctured. It doesn't affect. It does load still. It does work. But they're sealed units, these tapes. You can't break them open to change the window. Sometimes it's very soft plastic and you can just lever it out and you can leave it blank. But no, in this case, that is hard plastic. For some reason, someone decided to smash their pen through it, I reckon. So yeah, just a bit of vandalism. Thought I'd share that. Bit of vandalism on a very rare game from 1982 for the 16K Spectrum. And the last one in the box today is Alchemist. Alchemist, yes. Classic game by Imagine, pre-Ocean buyout, and Imagine still made their own games. It's okay. Alchemist always reminds me a little bit of just look of it, like Avalon. But the reason I picked this is because, of course, it's the gold box version. Just a little bit of wear there, but this game was released as a gold version, and there's the best bit: gold tape. It's a gold tape. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? It's actually made of solid gold. No, it's not really. Gold inlay, obviously, it's all gold. Everything on this game is gold. So, that is it. That is Alchemist. And that ends the box. The box is empty. I've really enjoyed this show. Have I? Maybe. I'm not sure we're going to come back with Junk Box. You might have seen this week, Junk Box finished at £38, I think. 32 after the eBay fees. Our good old mate, Rusty Bucket bought it. So I'm glad that it's gone to one of our followers, but it cost about 12 quid to send. That got 20 quid for that huge box of stuff. 3 SNESes in there, loads of other stuff, tons, I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of effort. It's even packing it up for 20 quid. We probably used a fiver's worth of packing peanuts to make it all nice and solid to send. So yes, for now I'm going to rest the junk box format. It didn't really work. It's your own fault. You guys should have been bidding that up, even if you didn't want it. If you wanted the show, I needed to sell that box for maybe at least 50 quid. The first box went for 50 quid. That was okay. I carried on. 20 quid and a bigger box for 20 quid. No, tough. Anyway, but well done to you, Russ. You got the box, and I might bring it back. But I might bring it back on a lot bigger epic scale. Something I'm thinking about. So yeah, enough of that. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for liking me. Until next week, happy retro gaming, retro gamers!
Retro games, first time.